You're listening to I Have Some Notes, a podcast supported by listeners like you. To contribute, visit patreon.com/I Have Some Notes.
Here's a pitch. It's the story of the Three Little Pigs, but instead of houses, they're making comedy Lego sequels in 2025.
What?
So, like, the first Little Pig just uses hacky callbacks and cringy cameos to make Happy Gilmore 2, right? And the wolf just rips it to shreds, obviously.
Wait, are we the wolf in this?
And then the second Little Pig makes his Spinal Tap sequel out of nostalgia and improv. It's better than Happy Gilmore 2, but it's still not going to hold up.
We're not talking about that movie today.
But the third pig, right? The third pig uses clever material and talented actors to make a Naked Gun reboot. It can withstand the wolf's huffing and puffing and totally saves the summer movie season.
And this analogy is what you want to do for the cold open of this episode of I Have Some Notes.
Yeah.
I have some notes.
Welcome, everyone, to I Have Some Notes, the movie podcast with cuts, keeps, punch-ups, and tweaks on mediocre movies. I'm Liam Creswick.
I'm Scott C. Bourgeois.
I'm Greg Beaver.
And today we are discussing Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
You know, I kind of had medium hopes for this film. I don't want to say high hopes because I love Happy Gilmore. I think it might be my favorite of the early Adam Sandler movies. It might be my favorite Adam Sandler movie. I would have to actually think about that. And the early reviews were kind of tepidly okay with people being like, it's a goofy comedy. It's a lot of fun. And I was like, cool. That's what people were kind of saying about Naked Gun, which we have all seen at this point, and was quite funny. Greg lauded it as one of the top movies of the year for him. So when I went into it, I was crushingly disappointed. I just want to say that. And maybe it's because I got my hopes just up enough that I tripped right over that bar, but I was disappointed.
I was coming in with it, being pretty sure that it wasn't going to be good. Just based on everything that I've seen recently from Adam Sandler, that wasn't some kind of weird, quirky drama. Those are quite good. Like Uncut Gems is great. But anything that's been comedic related with him has been awful. And I couldn't bring myself to the point of having any particular kind of hope for it. And then I felt like it's somehow fell beneath that.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for how this movie was going to be a drag. I was ready for it to be a drag, but I wasn't ready for how it sucks. Cause it's very silly.
Yeah.
But the first one's silly, but it's a different kind of silly. Yeah.
The way that I describe it, and I believe I mentioned this in my Letterboxd review, the reason the first Happy Gilmore works is because it's very grounded in reality. The world of golf is the world of golf in the real world. It is this stuffy, staid, very white institution, and Happy is this absurd character who goes into it and shakes it up. And seeing him bounce off of all of the regular golf stuff is funny. It's an inherently comedic scenario. The reason why this movie doesn't work in the same way, at least, is because it's no longer grounded in reality in any way. The world of Happy Gilmore 2 is a cartoon. Happy's not the craziest character in the regular golf league. And that's weird and bizarre and wrong. John Daly is living on his couch drinking hand sanitizer. What is happening? It's no longer grounded in reality, and therefore it's not a comedic situation based in reality anymore. It's just the zany cartoon. And it didn't work for me because of that. I wanted to see more very serious golf bouncing off of something ridiculous. And maybe if the golfers had played it straight against the ridiculous of maxi golf, that might have worked. And I'm not trying to walk up to our fixes right now, but it just, it felt completely unmoored from reality for me in this time. And I don't think it worked as well because of that.
Agreed. And then it makes the parts where it does try to be serious and have some grounding in reality, like 90% of it's a cartoon and 10% of it is a guy going through AA and grieving his dead wife. Like it's
tonally inconsistent. Yeah. I think Anita maybe said that it felt like a bunch of like SNL sketches that were strung together that just happened to be about the same character.
Or just like not even about the same character, just watching, like he just happens to be there when Travis Kelce's cameo happens.
Yeah.
Like that could be an SNL sketch of like Travis Kelce, the crazy waiter.
Yeah.
And then,
I will say that maybe to the movie's credit, and I don't want to give it a ton of credit. But the whole zany maxi golf thing that was meant to inject new youthful life into golf, I did not realize that it was based off of a real golf league called Live Golf. And if you go to their like about page and you watch their video about it, I'm almost convinced that the filmmakers took that video and sort of like made their own version of it, because it does come off very much the same way, where it's trying to add this same sort of wild pizzazz to a pretty golfing. I wouldn't say golfing is a boring sport, but it isn't the most spectator friendly sport. So trying to jazz it up in any particular way seems sort of fruitless to me. And it comes off comedic in the Live Golf video just as much as it comes off of it as ridiculous in Happy Gilmore too. So I thought that part of it was interesting to me once I learned that they were actually taking the piss out of a real golf league.
Yeah, that's an interesting inspiration for sure. But it is Netflix. They'll make it. And we'll get into the details. Of course, came out this year, July 25th, 2025. Stars Adam Sandler as Happy Gilmore, Christopher McDonald as Shooter McGavin, Benny Safdie as Frank Manatee, Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio as Oscar Mejas, Sonny Sandler as Vienna Gilmore, Sadie Sandler as Charlotte, Ben Stiller as Hal-El, and John Daly as himself. Directed by Kyle Newacek, who mostly did stuff on Workaholics and What We Do in the Shadows. And also, looking him up, I knew him from Workaholics, and I always thought Michael Rosenbaum was the guy on Workaholics, but it's this guy. Michael Rosenbaum being the guy who played Lex Luthor on Smallville. So that was just a fun little learning thing for me. I'm like, oh, I always thought those were the same guy. To the point where I'm like, did Lex Luthor from Smallville direct this movie? Did not. Also, written by...
Also, we kind of glazed over Haley Joel Osment is also in this movie.
Yes.
Kind of a major character.
That's fair. And there's a lot of cameos, too. Written by Tim Herlihy and Adam Sandler. And again, researching these details, did not realize he has written all of the best Adam Sandler movies with Adam Sandler and all of the worst ones. Like, the guy, a crazy resume. Every Adam Sandler comedy, anything that isn't Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems, Tim Herlihy has helped him write, and it's baffling that the same guy who wrote Billy Madison wrote Pixels. Like, it's what? What?
Yeah, I mean, they've had some stone cold hits. Obviously, like, I mean, you mentioned Billy Madison, and of course, we're talking about Happy Gilmore, but The Wedding Singer is another one that comes to mind. The Water Boy, he used to knock those things out of the park, and it was kind of strange to watch his career devolve. And I think at least part of it for me maybe is that his comedy didn't seem to really mature at all, whereas the rest of us did, obviously. So it just
astute.
And maybe to a certain degree, that's maybe why he's still, reasonably popular now, is because he just kind of like kept appealing to maybe a lower age demographic than us. I don't know. And we just aged out, which is totally fine. But I don't know. I think I'm a wise enough film critic in my old age that even if something is uncouth or, meant comedically for a younger audience, that I can still track whether these jokes are well constructed, well crafted. And I didn't feel that way with Happy Gilmore at all for most of it. I mean, there are definitely a smattering of funny sequences, and, I did get a couple chuckles out of it, but not enough for me not to want to check the time code to see whether it was over yet or not. Which is a staggering 2 hours, by the way.
Yeah, it's needlessly 2 hours.
Oh, this is way too long. And we say that about a lot of movies, and I think maybe that's partly because we're watching a lot of mediocre movies, and they do seem interminable in that way. And if they were better, they wouldn't seem as long, and we wouldn't complain about it so much. But I don't know. With comedies, like that's really just overstaying your welcome. I think there's a reason why most comedy sets are an hour long, right? You don't sit up there in front of a crowd for an hour and a half boring the shit out of them.
I've been thinking about what Scott said about grounded in reality. The original being like, golf is golf and you bring this wacky character in, whereas this thing's a whole cartoon. And then what you were saying, Greg, jokes aren't well constructed. I'm trying to think. It's not that Adam Sandler doesn't have any funny lines, but at any point is he ever the butt of the joke?
Yeah.
Like he kind of is in Happy Gilmore, where like he looks like a prat. The first Happy Gilmore movie is all of him pratfalls doing prats that he looks like an asshole. But I don't think Happy Gilmore the character ever looks comedically bad. Obviously drinking himself like.
Well, there's all that whole sequence in the drinking golf sequence is. Yeah.
Well, not just that. He also, like, when he's trying to get his groove back and he goes on that foursome with those three kind of
cameos.
douches. Yeah. Well, the three cameos. Yeah. He looks pretty bad in that and does some physical comedy. But I mean, Adam Sandler's also getting a little old to do a lot of like physical pratfalling now.
I guess not necessarily a physical thing, but just like that sort of like making a fool of himself. Like, even when he's holding a phallic thing between his leg and going, it seems more like, hey, remember when I did this? And not like this character loves to grab stuff and pretend to jerk it off. Like,
if anything, Happy. Part of the problem with
the love wasn't there. The love wasn't there in the phallic gestures.
One of the problems with the movie, I think, is that for a character named Happy, he's real sad for the whole movie, at least for a goodly portion of the movie. He's just a sad sack. He's just really sad, and it's not very funny for someone to just be sad all the time. Especially because you kind of empathize with him a little bit. And then there's like wacky stuff happening around him, but he's just kind of like sad about everything. And it's just like, oh, poor Happy.
Yeah, you would think that like he would, based on his character from the original, it would cause him to act out in increasingly immature ways.
Yeah.
And he does, I mean, not that drinking yourself to death is immature or anything, but like it seems like maybe a missed opportunity from a comedic side to take that character and twist him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Because in the first movie, he really is hoisted by his own petards. It's the fact that he's too violent and shitty a hockey player to make it in hockey, and he's forced into a situation. Whereas this is just like, circumstance has beaten down an honest man. Like it's not, I mean, don't drink yourself to death, but like he seems like much more of a victim of circumstance than his own anger issues. Yeah.
And it's kind of weird that he is put in a position where he is fighting for the old stuffy golf when he was the person that brought new life into it, right?
See, that I like. That is a fun subversion. That is a classic sequel. We're going to do it, but the opposite now. Take that most of my fixes hinge on is the fact that he now has to back up Stuffy Golfness. So fair point, but it's like something does have to be fresh and a change, right?
I don't disagree with that. I think there's a way of handling that particular angle in a more fun and interesting way, but
for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys like the Maxi Golf angle, or would you prefer to see that completely cut?
I keep it in my fixes, but I think if you're giving me the option, I think I'd rather see it completely cut.
Well, maybe before we get into that, we'll get Scott to run down the plot summary so everybody knows what the hell we're talking about if you haven't seen this movie.
Or if you have no intention of seeing this movie.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
That too.
That's an option, and we would not blame you.
My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try. But even when you're at the top of your game, you can always shank one. Happy Gilmore sucks?
Oh, eat a bag of dicks!
How are you going to put Vienna through ballet school? It's $75,000 a year. That's 4 years. That's 333 grand. That's terrible math, Johnny. It's 300 grand. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Let them see the Happy I fell in love with.
Come on, you gotta do it, Dad.
All right, let's go. Let's go get him, Dad.
But how about the jigs?
I know how to do it, Dad. Let's go. Oh, Dad, I got this.
What the hell is happening?
It's been 30 years since Happy Gilmore achieved golf supremacy and pop culture ubiquity. Since then, he's drunk away his fortune as a means of coping with the grief of losing his wife Virginia, whose death he was accidentally responsible for. When his daughter Vienna is given the chance to attend ballet school in Paris, Happy must pick up his golf clubs and return to the get-rich-quick scheme that saved Grandma's house in the first film, winning professional golf tournaments. Elsewhere, classic rival Shooter McGavin escapes from a psychiatric hospital while energy drink mogul Frank Manatee launches a new wacky golf league named Maxi Golf. It's even more obnoxious than Happy's antics ever were, and its rising popularity has the president of the Pro Golf Tour feeling a little threatened. Happy suggests the best players from each league compete against each other, which seems like a great way to bring attention and legitimacy to Maxi Golf, but what do I know? I'm just a podcaster. The odds begin to stack against the Gilmore family. Happy struggles to maintain his sobriety, but pressure, grief, modernity, and Ben Stiller's mean nursing home character knock him off the wagon. It's also revealed that the Maxi Golf team have had their iliolumbar ligaments severed to improve their golf swing. Now, Google says that would cause mobility issues and severe pain, but what do I know? I'm just a podcaster. After a lot of yelling, swearing, punching, and club throwing, Happy, Shooter, and 3 actual genuine golf pros they talked into being in this movie put it all on the line. Will they be able to pay for dance school, save the sanctity of golf, and buy a caddy a restaurant? Of course, but after 2 hours of this nonsense, you probably won't care anymore.
At the risk of not picking up where we left off before that trailer, I did find that the cameos were relentless to the point where, there was a lot of people I didn't know, and that maybe wasn't all that much fun for me. But I was starting to get tired of it by the end. That I don't care. I don't care about any of this.
Let's do around. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? My favorite, because I have 2 very distinct ones.
I think my least favorite was was it Eminem as Joe Flaherty's son? That was terrible.
Yeah.
Favorite one? I don't know.
Mine was also Eminem as Joe Flaherty's son.
I guess it would have to be Bad Bunny, right? Like I don't know who that guy is, but he was like pretty. I guess he wasn't a cameo; he was a cast member, so that doesn't count.
That was the caddy, right?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm an old man who doesn't know pop music.
Yeah, I only know.
But
that
that's not even a cameo; it's a character.
I only know that because I read a couple reviews, and that's what they told me he was.
I thought randomly having Eric Andre, Margaret Qualley, and one of the guys from Please Don't Destroy as the golf trio was kind of like that's 3 random ass celebrities. Way to go! Like,
yeah.
So that one was fun, but yeah, the Eminem one, I was like, what? And are they friends? Like, why Eminem? I don't.
Yeah.
Has he been in other?
I don't know. And what does he have to do with Joe Flaherty? It's even a little bit more confusing for me, but I don't know. I mean, at that point, the whole movie had started to feel a little pathetic, to be honest with you.
Pathetic's a good word.
It really did. Like, once they get into that whole maxi golf sequence, anything that was left of the charm of the movie had fallen out completely for me. And I was just like, this is real bad.
Yeah. It's contrived to the like nth degree. Like, it's even contrived within contrivances. The contrivance is that the villain contrived golf. It's contrivances all the way down.
Yeah. They take the time to show you this large maxi golf course that, I don't know, presumably has all these crazy challenges involved. And then like the challenges, I don't know, outside of like having to hit over a bunch of trees and I think putt on a moving green, like those are like the two main ones, right?
The ice one. There was an ice one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, it's weird to complain about I lost the geography on that sequence, but I did, and that seems stupid because it's just a golf course.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't feel like they set up the maxi golf thing at all. Like, I like they talked a lot about how there's this rival golf league that's trying to like go after the youth crowd, but at no point, like I think up until you get to the actual climax of the movie, you don't have a sense of like, well, what does any of that mean? It's like, yes, these golfers have like, they show them training, they reveal that they have this surgery done so that they're better golfers, but they don't actually show you why you should care that they're taking away something from traditional golf, right?
That too. I think we're going to just say they should just show you some of that wackiness sooner to entice you. Cause like at one point Shooter like looks out and he's like, oh my God, what have you done? And we don't get to see it.
No.
And it seems like maybe I get that they're trying to build it up, but I'm like, you're just going to disappoint me. Like maybe try giving me a little taste now. Cause there's no way you're going to meet this expectation you're setting.
Yeah. I mean, it probably has to be at least a little bit off-putting for us, the audience, to want to cheer for the stuffy old golfers, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make us hate maxi golf before you like ask us to root for classic golf.
The thing that really made me laugh, I think, toward the end was that they, obviously Happy wins. He makes the putt. He gets, he wins the prize of all the money and sends his daughter off to ballet school or whatever. But in the end, like, presumably they had this like engaging putting challenge where Happy and his caddy had to work together in order to like make the putt. And then everybody screams and cheers and there's like fireworks and stuff like that. Like that to me looked like a success on the part of maxi golf. It looked like they just proved the concept.
Beloved golfer Happy Gilmore reunites with his family on wacky golf green.
Well, and the whole idea that like they're gonna the stuffy golfers are just gonna go on this maxi golf show, like that's a PR disaster because like all you're really doing is just getting a whole bunch of talented people to work for this rival golf company. I don't know. It just seemed stupid all around that like that's where they ended up.
It might also have been a good idea to have, like, realistically, rather than just have the old school golfers compete against the maxi team on the maxi course, have the maxi golfers compete against the old school team on a regular golf course, and show them
don't
being
they a little.
I mean, technically speaking, yes, Haley Joel Osment does win the tournament.
You're right, yeah.
But I think it would have been more interesting if it had been set up legitimately as like, these are maxi golfers who are going to be competing just to show that they're better than you, and then have them be absolute jerkasses on the course, have them maybe cheat to win.
Yeah.
And then like really show, like really make us hate the maxi golf team, before the regular golfers have to go up against them in the maxi golf course. Again, this is all hypothetical because we're all very seriously considering cutting the maxi golf thing completely from our take on Happy Gilmore 2. But like, obviously there's a better way to have handled it.
Yeah. Just not, I know I used the word contrivance already, but I rewatched the original Happy Gilmore before watching this. And when the radio tower, like the broadcasting tower, falls on the green and he has to make the final putt by like ricocheting it off stuff. I remember watching that and being like, this movie's fun. It's a classic, but that's kind of contrived. And then, but it's like they earn it. They earn that contrivance, whereas they don't earn any of exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. I think I like there is still a high sense of silliness in the original Happy Gilmore too. I mean,
for sure.
It's not like it like Scott's entirely correct that the golf is taken seriously because that's the best way to handle it, so that there's the contrast between Happy Gilmore and the golf world. But then, of course, there's still plenty of like wild stuff going on in and around all of that as well, including like a guy who's making old grandma and grandpa's slaves for his own profit, right? So, so it's not like this movie can't be zany and silly, but it really just takes
contrast.
Yeah, there's
contrast is the word. Yeah.
I like the idea of Happy Gilmore having to face himself. So if like you've got all these maxi golfers who are like crazy like acting uncouth or whatever, suddenly his shtick doesn't work. And he has to make a choice and change based on that. That would be sort of interesting to me, but, they just wanted to sort of reset Happy, and I don't know if that was necessary to do that. It certainly wasn't necessary to fridge his wife and all that to get that done.
That was what I was just about to bring up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Virginia. I immediately was like unplugged from the movie when it turned out that they had fridged Virginia. So that Happy could be sad and have a growth arc. I was like, that's literally fridging the female character. That's literally why you do it. It's hackneyed. It's bad. And they should not have done that, especially because obviously the actress was available. So just come up with a better motivation. And there were there's a better way to have done it without Virginia having been killed off. Hell, she could have just been estranged because he's like been drinking and he's a jerk ass now because life changed
or
the
relationship didn't work out because
he's Happy Gilmore.
He's Happy Gilmore and he's a violent asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's other ways that it could have been handled, and killing her off, it didn't sit right with me right from jump.
There might even be a simpler fix for what Virginia's role is if she's alive, and that it isn't like, cause you're like, oh, she's estranged, where it's ending. All she has to do is fill the role Grandma filled in the first one. So like something happens to her that Happy needs to step up and go back to golfing to save the proverbial grandma's house. But it's really like his wife and his family are in trouble. Like, so maybe cause she was in PR or something, like she's getting sued, or the family all went big on something and it went bust and now they're all destitute. But like, she
could have just gotten sick, or one of his kids could have gotten sick, and like, there goes all the money.
Oh my God. He quit golf. He quit golf years ago cause he made his mark. She runs a successful PR firm, gets super sick. The family's starting to run out of money. She looks just as not helpless, but like your heart breaks for her the same way Grandma losing her house in the first one, your heart breaks for Grandma. And now he's got to step up to raise the money to save his wife instead of save himself from the grief of losing his wife.
Yeah. I mean, Happy Gilmore could very easily be someone that just fell out of love with golf for a little while.
Oh, for sure.
Because you know, you take Happy Gilmore 1 to its logical conclusion that, you know, they wanted Happy Gilmore on the tour because he was injecting new life into the sport. And then, you know, after Happy Gilmore wins a bunch of championships, then all of a sudden the next generation of golfers that are coming up after him also have this sort of, you know, attitude the way that he did. So now suddenly all the golfers are kind of like outspoken and wild and crazy, maybe acting out and he suddenly becomes, he doesn't feel unique anymore. It just feels like he's just another guy, and then it just kind of falls out of love for him, and he goes back to like you know, watching hockey and things like that, right? And maybe that creates some sort of tension between him and his wife. I don't know, but like at least that excuse me, makes a little bit of a little bit more narrative sense for him without having to do all the fridging and whatnot. Yeah. And then he might have to, if his family's sick or there's something wrong with his family, then he might have to try and get back into golf and find that love again that he once had before.
Well, and even if you take out Maxi Golf at that point, suddenly he's the old man golfer coming back in, past his prime, dealing with a bunch of Happy Gilmores.
Yeah.
Based on your own setup right there. So instead of an obnoxious Maxi Golf team, you just have a bunch of obnoxious young golfers who think they're better than him because he's the old man. He's the man now.
Yeah. He's the one hanging out in the country club with the jackets and all the other pros, right?
He's become Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
Except that he actually won a bunch of championships.
Well, let's say we go into our fixes then. I think the problems are evident. There's lots of this movie brims with opportunity for potential and fixes. So let's get into it here on the other half.
In the ghost town of Boron Ridge, an interdimensional boarding school houses delinquent students from all over the multiverse. The rules are strict. The campus is isolated. The students are forbidden from sneaking into other dimensions, but they do it anyway. This is Slug Blaster.
I heard that you might be interested in slug blasting. I would love to be able to have you on my team. I'm one of the best slug blasters in the school. I have a ton of experience. I've been to so many dimensions.
Esther Infinity, slug blaster documentarian extraordinaire.
I am running for prom queen. Can I count on your vote?
I'm Slavic, but lots of people just call me Bub or Bubby if they're close.
It's time to play the game. It's time to play Slug Blaster. Ready to play some Slug Blaster?
Quantum Kickflip. Season 3 premieres Wednesday, June 4th.
Welcome back to I Have Some Notes. We are fixing Happy Gilmore. What do you guys have? I've started the last couple episodes on the second half.
I already tipped my hat on a lot of stuff that I had in the first half. So Scott, if you're good, you're welcome to go.
I mean, my first big fix was just don't fridge Virginia. And we kind of touched on that in the first half there. Find a better way to keep her in the story. Give Happy a better motivation for needing to get back into golf and for having fallen out of golf. And I think that that also gets rid of the alcoholism maybe a little bit, because I didn't find that particularly funny. No, I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't think that was a joke that worked at all. So, I mean, I think that we were cooking a little bit when it was suggested, like, he needs to get back. He fell out of love with golf. He needs to get back into it. And now he's finding himself in the position of being the old man shouting at clouds. And dealing with a course full of younger versions of himself and not knowing how to cope with that.
Yes. Yes to all of that. And also I think the reason, because like the alcoholism thing doesn't need to be funny. It is a fine motivator, like I can see why they went that way. we maybe have better options, but like I can see the thinking behind the alcoholism thing. It itself doesn't have to be funny. You're allowed to have dramatic moments in a comedy. What sucks about all of the alcoholism scenes is that they have Ben Stiller in them. And that Ben Stiller character is not funny. He's kind of funny in the first one.
He's not necessary either. You don't need to bring back every character from the first movie.
And like plays a pivotal role. Like the caddy he strangles in the first one is back for one scene. Great. Eminem plays Joe Flaherty's son, fine, whatever. But the Hal L. Ben Stiller character is like a significant character in the movie. And no thank you.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Yeah, and I think you're entirely correct, Liam and Scott, that like he wasn't funny. And there wasn't a lot of runway to that character to begin with.
Runway is a good way to put it.
I just didn't like, even in the original, I don't think he was kind of one of the parts that worked the least for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah, so for him to come back. The other thing I know this isn't kind of where we're at the point for this, but just as I'm thinking of it, the other thing I would cut out is all the flashbacks to the original movie where they were like, we want you to feel nostalgia about this, but we're not sure entirely that you're going to remember exactly what it is we're talking about. So we're just going to show you directly that this is what we're referencing. And like, that is the fucking laziest way to make a nostalgia bait movie I've ever seen. And that was quite
it
grating
transcends
and brutal.
lazy. It's insulting. It's like,
it is. Yeah. It is insulting.
Oh yeah. That was,
it's almost as if they tested those scenes and people were like, what? And then they were like, oh, well, we have to show them. So like we have to spoon feed it more, which is like, okay, well, maybe that particular reference wasn't that all important, was it?
I also feel like there's a studio note here where some executive was like, well, we can't assume that everybody's going to know what the references are. So please put in a little flashback to the first movie, failing to realize that the only people who will be interested in seeing this movie are people who saw the first movie. We'll get the references. Thank you.
It was brutal, but I did not mean to derail our actual fixes. I just really had to get that out there because it really bugged me.
Get rid of them.
Also, as we were talking about the alcoholism thing, the joke with Adam Sandler having a little alcohol hidden in everything. You know, he had everything.
Yeah, everything.
Every item he had, he unscrewed, and it was a Mickey or whatever. That joke went on for a very long time. It did not stop.
Not long enough. Weirdly, the problem is that there's anytime the comedy rule of threes, rule of fives, and then it's like eventually you repeat it too much, it stops being funny, but then it comes back around, and they bailed on it in the Valley. It should have been relentless. either 3 times or relentless, but it was just fairly often.
Yeah.
And and then it doesn't land. They forget about it through most of the whole third act of the movie. Like, I mean, I guess because he's trying to stay sober, but like,
and they were, the thing is too, is they weren't creative with it. Because everything, it was sort of like the same variation of the same thing. Like he picked up something in his hand. Like, was it like a little mini hockey stick? Was it his iPhone or whatever? Like, I don't remember that often being creative where he ended up sucking on a hose or something like that in his backyard that happened to be just full of alcohol, or like, I don't know, whatever it was. Like, it just needed to have
he's got them in clever
it.
places. Like, you could have seen him being clever about it, but just like the fact that they had the prop department make a remote control with a flask in it is the joke. But he's not hiding them in like clever places.
Yeah.
They're not clever designs. They're just like, yeah.
Anyway. Back to the character motivations, I guess.
Then if we go back, I've got some bullet point notes, just with what's here, notes for the stupid movie we got, just tighten it up a little. Move the bet that they make, him and Benny Safdie's character, where it's like, if I win, you have to pay for my daughter's school and give me your car, and And there's like 5 things in the bet. Like he lists off like 5 stakes that he's going to win in this bet, which that alone is kind of silly. Like 1 or 2 would have been fine. And then they make the bet kind of like in the first movie. But if you recall in the first movie, the reason the bet happens is at end of act 2, they think they're going to get grandma's house back. And the auction is a little earlier than they realized, and Shooter McGavin swoops in and buys the house from under them. So he has to I'll make you a bet, Shooter McGavin. You give me my grandma's house back. Yada, yada, yada. This movie, the bet is kind of superfluous because first of all, like 5 different things are on the line and they make it 1 putt away from the last hole. Mm-hmm. Like the literal last game action that will be taken. So just bump it up half an hour, have it be made at the beginning of the match, not the very last hole, because that's not how bets work. I mean, I
suppose they bets can work like that, but maybe just dramatically, it's not as fun.
It's sort of silly. And then that last scene. Okay, so the Benny Safdie can literally manipulate the green during the tournament, and that's not a problem. Whatever, fine. But we're led to believe that this is a green that needs to like balance. Like the fulcrum is in the dead middle and it all pivots like a drum cymbal around this central point. And there's all the things where he's standing perfectly balanced with his caddy and they have to toss the golf clubs so that the weight is even. And then they have to jump periodically while it's moving. And meanwhile, his family is off on the sidelines watching him and his caddy balance it. And I'm like, oh, obviously the kids are going to come help and stand on the edges and help him balance because 6 people will be better at balancing this than 2. And the kids never move. And I'm like, what a layup of a metaphor of like, he literally needs the help of his family to find balance. And they all come and they stand on the goddamn green and that helps him make the putt. And there could even be a thing where he almost misses and one of them knows to jump off, but that tips it and they all have to like jump off in unison and the caddy's in it and they like spiral by like jumping off in the right order. They spiral it in. Would totally justify the ridiculous set piece of cartoon wavy moving green bullshit. And they don't even do it. His 4 sons are just standing there going, cheering for him. Oh, I was livid.
His 4 superfluous sons who don't actually do much in this movie.
Yeah, you want to give them a narrative purpose, Liam? Why?
Yeah. I do think it's funny that he has 4 sons that are basically the same character. I do kind of like it when 4 people play one character.
Yeah.
And the joke is how many of them there are.
Yeah. I
didn't hate the sons.
Them doing their jobs, like when they're showing the montage of them at work. That was the one of the few places where I was like, this is pretty funny. Yeah.
But yeah, the kids should have helped him on the moving green.
Yeah. No, that's a good call.
Now, we danced around the idea in the first half of just cutting Maxi Golf from this movie. What replaces it? If we don't have a rivalry set up with this rival golf organization, what's going on that creates an obstacle for Happy to just winning the tournament and getting the money he needs to help Virginia save her company when she falls super sick?
So I think I have a pitch in that I had a bit, not a page 1 rewrite, but a bit of a rework that keeps Maxi Golf, and I'm going to hit you with it, and then you tell me if it actually is enough that you could take Maxi Golf out.
Okay.
And this is based on a suggestion from someone in our Discord. Thank you very much to Bogo Load for the idea of a Happy Gilmore Jr. And so his daughter is this exceptional ballet performer, gets the opportunity to go to ballet school, but it's expensive. Family can't afford it. And then in trying to figure out how they're going to raise the money, and he's like, oh, I can't do it with golf. I'm out. I can't go. No way I'm going to make any money doing this with golf. They realize that her twisty, bendy ballet skills and the control that she has over her body as a ballerina gives her a killer drive. So if he was like an ugly slap shot, like an ugly hockey slap shot that gives him crazy drive, she's a beautiful ballet, performer. And that gives her a killer drive. So she has to go win a bunch of golf tournaments that are coming up to pay for her own school. And then he is in the Chubbs role, coaching her. That could be the thing that is enough, but it might not be. And then the movie plays out more or less the same. So what I think you keep Maxie Golf, or no, go ahead. Do you think that's enough?
I think that might be enough. I especially like the idea of her showing up and starting to do golf without his blessing. We mix in Greg's original idea of he's like just kind of done with golf. He was no longer unique because all of the new young golfers coming in were all like doing his shtick. And so he's actually like, don't get involved in golf. But when she realizes that she's kind of inherited his natural talent just in a different way, she goes out and does it anyway. But she's not, because just like him at first, she doesn't have the full game. And so grudgingly, he agrees to come along and coach her. And then he rediscovers his love of golf through her. I like that because then he has a character arc too.
It gives him a character arc, and it keeps the subversion I liked, which is what I was going to tie to Maxie Golf. He golf is stuffy, Happy Gilmore, sloppy, chaotic. He changes golf forever by being levity and joy. You've got this new golf thing that Greg was describing, the new era of golf where everyone's an obnoxious asshole. And here comes this sophisticated, talented, driven woman who uses poise and form to succeed. And with Happy in her corner, subverts the new chaotic norm of golf and brings some dignity and class back to golf.
I legit like that you could even still fit Shooter McGavin into this by having Happy have to go to Shooter to get help for her too.
Sure. Yeah.
Because he has to swallow his own pride and be like, you know what? You need a skill that I don't have. And I know a guy who does and has to go crawling up to Shooter and be like, help my daughter win.
Yeah. That's fun. That's a fun twist. If for some reason we have to keep Maxie Golf, I essentially treated it like a B plot. So the A plot is daughter has to use ballet skills to golf her way to success. Great. B plot is as she is bringing class and poise to golf, Happy is now put face to face with Maxie Golf, which is more obnoxious, more over the top, unfunny, cringy, obnoxious. And we get to learn some of that earlier on. Thanks for that note, Greg. And he has to be like, okay, guys, and he also brings some class and he becomes the vessel of class and dignity, but it's not because he's backing up stuffy old golf norms. It's because he's bringing the heat down on objectively douchey behavior. And he's like, look, let me show you how to really douchebag. And then does, like I was saying, it's funny when the 1990s Adam Sandler holds an item to his groin and pretends it's a big dick because he's got that kind of juvenile humor. And when he does in this movie, I don't feel it, but he's got to be like, no, this is how you be an obnoxious party animal. And somehow when they do it, it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. But I probably don't think we need that because also it would make the movie an hour and a half if it's just his daughter learning to golf.
And Virginia's still around. We can all just agree that she doesn't die. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like also, that. I like that that grace and poise ends up being the new skill that everyone wants to.
Liam just had a brainstorm. He's freaking out.
I do, but I liked Greg putting a bow on it. I can save my eureka moment. If his wife is sick, she might have to spend some time in a hospital. You know who can make a cameo? An obnoxious nurse who we see one time, and Happy's like, no way I'm letting this guy near my sick wife. Thanks, Ben Stiller. See you next time. And that's the one cameo.
You just got him show up, do a little cameo. Happy's like, I know this guy, throws him out the window, and we're done. We're done with Ben Stiller. That's a wrap on Ben Stiller.
And then because the thing is, the woman who plays Vienna, his daughter, is Adam Sandler's daughter, and the woman who plays his AA sponsor is his other daughter. If you need something for her to do, she then becomes the nurse for the rest of the movie, and she's not an asshole. Yeah. After you oust Ben Stiller, she's just there to be the regular nurse.
I like it. I think it's clean. I think it's a good premise. I think you could get a lot of comedy out of the switcheroo that you now have a grounded character in a ridiculous golf league instead of a ridiculous character in a regular golf league.
Yeah, and I think that adding that contrast creates a lot of comedic opportunities, right? Between the new ballerina type golfer versus the uncouth beer garage type, you know?
Yeah. One other little detail in my notes when I assumed we were maybe keeping Maxi Golf. So at the end of this movie, the team is Happy, Shooter, and 3 golf pros. It's actually Happy and 4 golf pros, and then something happens to one and Shooter steps in. If we have this thing where like the daughter is bringing, golfing her way to victory, and he's trying to temper the obnoxiousness of Maxi Golf, and it all comes to a head with a big bet, and now it's one team versus another team. First of all, we get to know the Maxi Golfers a little better, but then our team of heroes is Happy, his daughter, and then either probably Shooter, and or a Maxi golfer who has turned face, and or the caddy kid with the grudge from earlier joins the team, and or a love interest for Vienna, and or Chubbs' kid. Like, you get the opportunity to make a nice, like, rounded super golfer team of characters we know and like to mirror the Maxi golfers instead of just Happy and 4 guys I don't recognize. You could even pair the Maxi golfer who turns face and the love interest. Yeah. Maybe that's the reason why he turns face. He likes this girl. She's awesome. She's a really good golfer. She's got like a whole new attitude towards golf, and he's just like, you know what? I'm done with Maxi. I like you, and I like the way you're doing this. I'm gonna go legit, and I'm Haley Joel Osment because he's obviously the guy who you'd have do that, right? Yeah, that's actually why I wrote it as and or. Like in my notes, like it's a love interest for Vienna, and or Chubbs' kid, and or a face turning Maxi golfer, because like there's multiple versions of that, combination. Yeah, for sure. Sweet. But also, the more we talk about it, the more I think we don't need Maxi Golf at all. No, I kind of agree, actually. But what we do need is your notes and contributions. Thank you to the listeners who share their comments with us to read. Love the conversation happening on our social medias and on our Discord. Comments like this one. Bogo Load says, I think you have to really love Happy Gilmore and Sandler's shtick to like too much. And I've gotten pretty Sandlered out on the lazy comedies. My comments on Happy Gilmore 2 boil down to killing Virginia off sets a tone it never escapes. And most of the best bits are essentially SNL skits stretched out to pad the movie. I suspect if it was done with a different star than Sandler and as Happy Jr. with no dead parent, you could bash it into a funnier movie relying on Sandler cameos for the right bits. And that's why I was like, we Happy Jr. Ding, 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 ding. Earlier in the episode, I believe I mentioned that I remembered someone saying that it was like a bunch of SNL skits. Obviously, that was I was conflating something Anita said with Bogoload's comment here. She did say something about it felt like a lot of bits with like a little bit of connective tissue, and obviously, like clearly, I got that conflated here. So, but yeah, I agree. I was also turned off by Virginia getting killed in the cold open, basically. And yeah, the movie struggles to get out of that. And part of the reason for that is because Happy is sad about it for the entire movie, pretty much right up to the end. And it's hard to laugh at a sad clown. Yeah. What works less? The lazy obligatory callbacks to the jokes that worked from the first movie, or the few attempts at something original that falls super flat, like the flasks hid everywhere, like Travis Kelce being a weird waiter, like which of those two actually lands less for you? Because some of the jokes are so bad that I'm like, well, at least the nostalgia bait ones, I get to think about the better movie. Like, they kind of almost work better than the few original jokes.
I don't know. The nostalgia ones didn't feel really earned either. They were just kind of like there. And if they were handled a little better, they might have landed a little better. The new stuff, again, kind of fell flat for me as well. Like Greg, though, there were a couple genuine laughs here and there. There were some bits where I was like, okay, yeah, no, that was funny. I'll grant the movie that.
I like John Daly just randomly sleeping on his couch was a funny detail. Not every scene he showed up was good, but I thought it was a funny detail.
Yeah. Again, some of the stuff with his kids was kind of funny. I legit was enjoying him having a terrible round of golf with that, with those three guys, with the three cameos. That was legitimately, I would have watched more of that. There's bits. Intra 86 says, as a longtime hater of Sandler, yeah, I'm going to pass. I didn't even like the original. I'm not going to get any schadenfreude from this one. Unless it's another Uncut Gems where we're not supposed to like or root for Sandler's character, I don't see this changing my mind. That weirdly was kind of the main sentiment from a lot of people in our Discord for this one. When we announced it, everyone was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to listen to what you have to say about it and maybe pass on it myself. So we didn't get a lot of comments on this one.
Yeah. Well, you probably made the right call. It's not really a movie worth watching in my estimation. Yeah. It's not
unwatchable, but it's not great.
It literally, if you're going to watch a aging comedian take Netflix's money to do some pet project, I liked Unfrosted better.
Yeah. I think so.
Just barely, but I think I liked Unfrosted better.
Yeah, I think I got more laughs out of Unfrosted. I was watching a video essay about all these legacy sequels and all these. I think it might even be some more news, but they are basically making the argument that culture has stagnated, and that, having just watched it and then watching Happy Gilmore 2, I was like, I agree with you. That's exactly where I feel we're heading. And it's not that there's no good movies anymore. It's just that the experience we all have together with these movies and pieces of art, that does feel like it's stagnated a little bit to me. We get stuck in all these constant remakes and revisions and remakes that happen like 5 years after the fact or whatever. And the way that the whole ecosystem works now is like nobody's really watching any of the movies and television shows at the same time anyway. So you can't really collectively experience a lot of stuff anymore. And that I think is at least contributes to a lot of that stagnation. So yeah, we're in I don't know, we're in a real down spot, I think, for movies, unfortunately. And I don't really see an end to it. And the way that, that things are going, down south, I have a sneaking suspicion that, we're likely to see some kind of, like the films that came out that were sort of like challenging and interesting from like either a political or comedic or whatever perspective. I think those are really going to start disappearing as the chilling effect of what's going on down there is happening. So not to put it, I don't like, as I often do, I'll put a depressing spin on just about anything. I apologize for that, but just like, that's just what this stuff made me feel.
We might not see it in film. I think you're right when it comes to film, but I am confident that some exciting new artistic voices will come out of these troubling times. Cause like some of the best punk rock came out of the Reagan era. And so I just hope some of that, whatever fuck you art comes out of, this regime's oppression does some movies because I want cool movies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And with that depressing note, Happy Gilmore 2. If you'd like to discuss this point and others with us at any time, you can do so via a multitude of social medias. We are on Blue Sky. We're at I Have Some Notes there. We're on Instagram. I Have Some Notes Pod. We're on Facebook. But really, the main place to get in touch with us, our Discord server, where there's always great conversation going on over there. We're talking about new releases. We're talking about TV shows we're watching. We're talking about what's coming down the pipe for I Have Some Notes. So come join us there. You can find the link on the profile of really any of our social media accounts or at ihavesomenotes.com. And also give us a little rating and review on your podcatcher of choice, because that always helps us out.
You can also visit patreon.com/ihavesomenotes to become an armchair screenwriter. For just $3 a month, you get access to bonus episodes, old and new. We really appreciate the support in that regard.
In 2 weeks, I think we're going to do a film that some may consider to be our most audacious because it is a Hitchcock film. We're doing The Birds. So that will be a lot of fun.
Are we going to attempt to fix Hitchcock?
Yes.
Wow.
That is
the hubris. The hubris.
Just some humble notes. That's all. That's all it is.
Just humble notes for you, sir. Until then, I'm Liam Creswick.
I'm Scott C. Bourgeois.
I'm Greg Beaver. Keep watching this, guys.